wicked this way comes. Well, I hear a whistle. Looks like a Garrett turbocharger to me. This thing's an absolute freaking rocket ship. Well. What have we here?
This is my 2002 Suzuki Bandit 1200. The bike is completely built from the ground up. It has a Garrett 2860 turbocharger on it, built-in wastegate on the turbocharger, and a tile blow-off valve as well. This is from a car. This is like a Volkswagen Jetta blow-off valve. The engine's completely built on it. It has Hayabusa pistons and rods from a Gen 1 Hayabusa, just stock. They're good for over 350 horsepower. I made this whole oil cooler setup custom. I made all these lines myself. I made the brackets myself. This is just like a cheap Amazon oil cooler that I kind of made fit. It was only like a $30 or $40 oil cooler.
You could tell me it was 300, I'd believe you. I mean, it was badass.
The lines are more expensive than the cooler. They're pretty expensive to make. But
what about the airbox, man? That is sick.
Yeah, this is all custom made.
Who made it?
Well, this was originally a kit from a company, FBM Turbo, but the problem is this was for a Gen 1 Suzuki Bandit 1200, so I had to redesign the whole kit because it didn't fit in the frame correctly. So I pretty much had to redesign everything. I had to trim the manifold right here. I kept blowing the intake manifold off, so I made these custom straps to the engine to keep it all in one piece. It has a lock-up clutch behind this cover on it, or a slipper clutch, or centrifugal clutch, however you want to name it. The engine's very built though. It's fully studded, APE studs in it, APE heavy-duty nuts as well. Stock camshafts on it, but I have custom cam sprockets on it, so they're degreed to perfection, so the turbo spools almost instantly.
How many hours of labor do you have into crafting this thing?
Wow, that's a good question. Probably 100 hours, maybe more. A lot of time remaking stuff. I redid the oil feed and return on this bike 2 or 3 times. The standard setup from FBM Turbo was kind of terrible, and it kept blowing oil seals on it. So I had to design my own setup from scratch. You could see below the turbo all that drain and stuff. This is a 10 AN drain. I made all that. This line has a check valve in it. It didn't have that before. I custom made all this stuff. Made all those lines myself from scratch.
Is it still an 1157?
No, this is 1216 cc's now.
So it's been bored?
Yes, it's been bored out. The Hayabusa pistons are 81 millimeters. I think the stock is 79 or 78. So they're 2 or 3 millimeters over.
Have you put it on the dyno?
No, I never put it on the dyno. I think we have to do that one of these days. I'm guessing it makes 220 to 240 to the rear tire.
See how easy that front wheel comes up. I wouldn't be surprised at all. What's happening, Bill? Billy Blake just got back from his 1,000-mile Iron Butt rally. You got home 2 o'clock yesterday morning.
Yesterday morning, yeah. That was
24 hours straight, right?
23 hours.
23 hours.
Yeah, it's sore ass, and but a good feeling, a sense of accomplishment. You know, it's really.
You were telling me the stories about watching the sunrise up in Maine as you're zooming down the road.
Yeah, right by the coast, and then we were in the Adirondack Mountains. We saw Lake Placid, Mount Washington, and we were all over New England. And
we just did a full video this morning that we just dropped, so if you want to hear about that, check it out there. But there were a couple things you left out that now would be a good time to tell the folks.
You gotta
Come clean, Bill.
Remind me what it was. There's been things going through my mind all day about
the top speed when he got ahead of you, about a quarter mile ahead.
Oh yeah, he got a little bit ahead of me. My riding mate, my tour guide, basically, he's mapped the whole course out. But he got a little bit ahead of me, and I dropped the hammer on this thing, and it was just before sunrise. The road was a little damp, and I saw indicated 150 miles an hour.
That's faster than
on the high side.
It's faster than I've ever gone on a street bike. I did 145 on a Ducati once, and that was fast.
That's plenty fast on the road, but luckily this road was, I mean, I wouldn't do it otherwise, but the road was dead straight and wide and plenty back, so you could see.
Now, Bill, you're 65 years old. This is not a touring bike. This is a cafe racer, and you rode 1,000 miles, 24 hours. You had some challenges with sciatic nerve pain?
Yeah, definitely. My left leg was giving me hell the whole time, so I rode basically like this a lot of the miles. And unfortunately, one of my boots came apart, so I was dragging part of my sole, so I had to kind of hold it up. and I'm fighting Lyme disease. I just got diagnosed.
That's
so I'm
right.
on antibiotics out in the hot sun. I go, what could go wrong here? You know, like blackout or whatever.
You're 65 years old. You've just found out you had Lyme disease.
Yeah.
And you've had sciatic nerve pain. So what do? Let's do a 1,000-mile Ironman rally. Hey, and do you have any regrets, Bill?
Not one single regret. I had an absolute blast, and I would recommend it to anybody that has a little bit of fortitude and a plan. You could go do that, and it is a really remarkable experience. You have to dig deep. I don't care how young and fit you are. You got to dig deep to do 1,000. And there are guys that are doing more than that. They're doing more miles in that amount of time. So I'll settle with 1,000.
Well, I heard you raised the bar.
Yeah, we're going to raise the bar. We're going to go 1,530, perhaps, if I can, possibly do that.
1,530?
Yeah.
In 30 hours.
30 hours.
That's in one shot.
That's really up in the game.
Yeah, no sleep. Yeah. So that's a possibility. It may be on the radar, but hey, sitting next to this beauty, unbelievable.
Yeah, we were just going over the spec on this, man, when you pulled up on your ZRX, and
these were the two bikes to have back in the day. You have the ZRX 11.
Yeah.
You have the Bandit 1200. These were the two competing bikes back in the day. It's pretty cool.
They were. They're like twin sons of different mothers.
They are.
But
they
now,
are.
I mean,
what years are they?
Mine's a 2002.
2002, so that's 21 years old.
99.
24 or 5?
25 this year. Yeah.
So you went 1,000 miles on a 25-year-old bike.
Right. Exactly. My buddy said.
What's stopping you?
I asked Jimmy. I said, what did I do wrong on this thing? Because he's done it a bunch of times. He's done tens of thousands of miles on those kind of conditions. Riding all night long and everything. He knows the game. I said, what did I do wrong, Jimmy? He says, your bike is too old. I said, if it's way faster than your BMW.
He was on a new BMW touring bike, which probably was half as much work,
No, the GS, he's got to work. I mean, and he's absolute poetry in motion. And riding behind him, it was an absolute joy to see him. Like he flows like an expert rider, which he is.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, thanks for asking.
This is no trailer queen. He rides this every day, even in the rain.
Yeah.
Every day since the snow melted. I think you even rode it in the snow. You rode the Daytona in the snow, didn't you?
Yeah.
59,000 miles?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Up on 59 now,
50, those are lucky numbers, 593. Real lucky numbers.
All right. Well, I like that. All
God
right.
bless you, Billy. Keep the shiny side up, brother.
Likewise. God bless you as well.
Keep setting the standard.
Yeah, raising the bar.
Setting the
Roll,
bar
guys.
higher.
AARP is going to love me.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
I'm on my second card. I got my sporty tote to prove it.
Thank you for stopping. That's a beautiful bike.
Glad I did. Thanks, brother. Thank you.
Tell Jill we said hello. This guy's a world-class rider.
Wow.
So back to the bike. Where did we leave off? I kind of lost my train of thought.
I'm not completely sure.
We were talking about the turbo, I think, and how long it took you to build it. And
Yes. For the fuel setup on this, I have a Walbro 255 fuel pump, basically out of a car, and I have a Malpassi rising rate regulator. So it's set at 2.5 pounds just base pressure,
Yeah.
and then as I hit boost, for every pound of boost, it raises 1 pound of fuel pressure. So that's how it keeps fuel coming to the carburetors.
how did you learn how to do this type of work?
I learned actually on my Honda CB750, which is going to be coming up.
Can't wait to see that one on video. That thing's insane.
I'm trying to, once we get on the dyno, I think that'll be the highest power CB750 on the planet.
Set a new record?
Yeah, I think so. I think that'll be the world record bike.
What are you guesstimating what's the seat of the pants dyno say?
I'm thinking 130 to 140 on pump gas, but with race gas, turn it up to like 20 pounds, it should be good for over 200 horsepower, which would far exceed any bike out
That's
there.
insanely fast for a 1969 designed motorcycle.
Yeah,
It's